Hey guys, welcome back to another video on the Miami Dolphins. Before we get into the topic of today, I want to talk about the preseason game one more time because I didn't think I gave these guys enough credit for the offensive player of the game, who I thought did the best on the offensive side of the ball was definitely Jakeem Grant. I think we were all excited to see Jakeem play. Obviously one of the most underrated draft picks in the draft. Really came out to prove that he had the talent and just sizes and everything, and he did that. He had 65 yards receiving, he had 100 yards overall, including I'm talking special teams and receiving yards combined. He took that screen 24 yards, that 6 screen 24 yards for a first down. I think it was on like a third and long, or third and really, really long. So Jakeem Grant came out and absolutely showed why the Miami Dolphins drafted him and played extremely well. So for the defensive side of the ball, I had to go with Bobby McCain. Bobby McCain obviously got that pick not in his natural position. We moved him outside. Great recovery with that interception. One of the sickest picks I've seen in a very long time. If anybody's ever played football in person in real life, you know how insanely hard that pick is to come down with. Not to just go up and get your hands on it, but to come down with it. Obviously, Bobby McCain absolutely showed what he could do. Also had 2 pass deflections on the day. Bobby McCain absolutely came out to play. And now for the worst part, I had to do this. The worst players of the game. I don't think it comes to a surprise to anybody, but the 2 worst players, they have to share this award, Billy Turner and Dallas Thomas. It still baffles me today, guys, why Dallas Thomas is still to this day ahead of Laramie Tunsil on the left guard's position. Adam Gase has also come out to say Laramie Tunsil, quote-unquote, has a lot to learn. I don't know what the heck that means. I don't care how. It cannot be as bad as Dallas Thomas. Nothing can be worse than Dallas Thomas. You cannot tell me anything could be worse than Dallas Thomas. So let's get into the topic of today. And the topic of today, guys, comes from a subscriber, Colin. Been a long-time sub for a long time. He always leaves his opinion down below, and I always appreciate it. His question is, do you think Leonte Carroo could be in Kenny Still's spot next year? Do you think the contract, or do you think, because Kenny is obviously, after this, he's a free agent, or do you think Kenny will remain in South Florida if he does well, above 800 yards and 4 touchdowns? Okay, so this is a very hard question to answer, because we did see, obviously, another great thing we saw in the first preseason game was Leonte Carroo. Leonte Carroo came out and played, man. He had a lot of catches. He had a couple first downs. He came out and showed us what he could do. And also Jarvis Landry's been saying how impressed he's been with Leonte Carroo in training camp. So Leonte Carroo, if Kenny Stills, let's just say Kenny Stills left, we have obviously Leonte Carroo, just as talented, big receiver, big catch radius, can definitely replace Kenny Stills. But again, like he's saying, it depends if Kenny Stills will. If Kenny Stills has this insane year, will we re-sign him? I think it's totally possible that we re-sign him. Obviously, this comes down to what happens this season. There's a lot riding on the season. Ryan Tannehill, obviously, this is his chance to prove to us he is, without a shadow of the doubt, our franchise quarterback, and I have all the faith that he will do that. So if that happens, then obviously we're going to take a big cap hit. But I think we definitely have the most cap room out of anybody in the AFC East. Somebody can fact check me on that. So it's possible that if Kenny Stills does play well, it's not like we have to get rid of him because we can't pay him. We can pay him. Then again, you have the argument, well, do you want to get rid of him and if Leonte Carroo performs well, will you want to let your young talent flourish? So this is we got Jakeem Grant too on this team. So do we let Kenny Stills go and let our young talent come out and ball out? It's a very hard question. If he has 800 yards and 4 touchdowns, I think we would re-sign him. I don't think we let that go. I don't think we let that kind of production go. But will he have that with Devontae Parker and Jarvis Landry on the same team? I don't know. 800 yards is a lot to have for a third receiver out. That would be like a record-setting. Because I've said in past videos that I think both Jarvis and Devontae will have 1,000-yard seasons the first time since Mark Clayton and Mark Duper. So it's going to be very hard to predict. Okay, if Kenny Stills, here's what I'll say. If Kenny Stills has what you say he'll have, 800 yards and 4 touchdowns, I think he'll still be a Miami Dolphin. I think that's just too much production that you just can't ignore that kind of production. And like I said, we should have enough cap room to re-sign him. Then again, it depends on what happens with everything else. I mean, there's so many things going into this. But if he does have that kind of production, I would look for the Miami Dolphins to re-sign Kenny Stills. And that is going to be it, guys. I am Skaggs83, and I will see you guys in the next one.